Sup, everybody? Hope all y'all are doing undeniably fan-freaking-tastic out there. It's Monday, and you know what that means. Vlog day once again. We are now officially 1 week removed from my birthday. I've now been a 32-year-old for about a week now. And, folks, I've been doing a lot of thinking this week. This past week, through all the SSP uploads and through just a lot of circumstances happening in my own life, there's been a lot of thoughts running through this noggin of mine that I knew I had to share with a lot of you viewers today. But before I get to that, I hope all you viewers out there had a good week. Hope some of you found time to enjoy this week of SSP content. I was supposed to upload something yesterday, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get it edited in time, and I decided, I might have to wait on this, because now I'm just trying to get myself ready and prepared for the 11th anniversary coming up on the 29th. SSP's 11th anniversary comes up on May the 29th, and I'm trying to get everything in order so I can plan SSP May Day accordingly. Alright, so just stay tuned for that, about whatever may be coming. So again, I've been doing a lot of thinking this week. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've been thinking about some stuff that I didn't even get to discuss on my docuseries. So after the year I've had, after everything that I've been learning for a while now, I decided to write myself a letter, because I started realizing some stuff about myself and my story that nobody said out loud. Heck, it was stuff that I didn't even see about myself psychologically until just recently. And the more I started writing this down, I started realizing that, man, I didn't even think about that. But I want to read this to you today, and if it happens to, if it just so happens to sound relatable, then good. Alright? But this is what I wrote. Dear James, I think I figured out the motivations behind your chase for the spotlight. It goes deeper than YouTube, deeper than wrestling. It might have even been the reason why you had an inferiority complex to begin with. Yes, you called it dead, and it is, but I think I found out why it was born to begin with. I know you expressed your fear of growing old with no family of your own, no wife or kid for your future. But is that what actually scares you? Look at yourself. You found an excuse to feel envious of those who do. Before Brie, and heck, even a little bit today, seeing any example of a PDA, or public display of affection, made your skin crawl. It tingled your heart a bit, and you kept wondering, when is it your turn? I can't answer that, but I know recently you labeled yourself with the Fester syndrome, named after Fester Adams from the Addams Family. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you become friends with a couple, good friends. In this scenario, the man of that couple becomes your Gomez, and his wife or girlfriend, the Morticia. You can be good enough to be loved almost in the role of a brother to an extent, but never great enough to have what Gomez does. Fester was designed to be single and stay in the shadow of Gomez. Gomez has the wife, the mansion, the kids, and the money. Fester is just there. He's just there, and he's just being supportive. That's it. That's who you identify with. Think about all those times you were rejected from having a girlfriend in school. It's not your fault. You just didn't have the right lessons to teach you how. You wasn't pushed or invited to any clubs or to hang out with any friends outside of the school. You were in a bad environment, but you expected different results. So after you graduated with your GED, you finally started working with APW. You told yourself that you can train. No, you're told that you can train there, but medically speaking, it's best for you to never wrestle at all. So there you are, in your brother's shadow. So what do? You try building your own stage with your own spotlight. YouTube, self-standard programming. But it didn't get as bright as you wanted, did it? You found out that there's rules to the algorithm and the system to guarantee success to an extent. But your creatively deep brain breaks every rule, and the punishment was to never go viral, never reach 1,000 subs, to always be unique but never be popular enough. But somehow you thought that means not being important enough, and you took that personally. Why do you think you raged about dislikes and trolls? You were expecting the world to love you and take notice. But when some took notice, you got mad because it wasn't the reaction you wanted. You didn't see the vulnerable position that you put yourself in. You turned yourself into an easy target for trolls, but what happens next? You finally did start wrestling. About 4 to 5 years late, granted, but still, you were now in a position to give everyone who said no a big metaphorical middle finger. In spite of those naysayers, you still enjoyed your time wrestling. Won a few championships in the process. But you were still slightly undertrained, and I don't mean by skill and moveset alone either. You didn't realize that eventually you'd reach a chapter of your wrestling life where all those past insecurities and limited resources you wasn't supported for would come back to bite you in the butt and hurt you professionally, sabotaging your wrestling career in the process. And I know you didn't expect any of this. You didn't expect to find excuses to call yourself irrelevant or not important enough. You kept saying, I'm not important enough to be booked consistently, not important enough for certain people to message you, not important enough for people to vouch for you, not important enough for people to buy your merch, not important enough for people to donate money. I know it's getting repetitive, but get it out. You're helping yourself. You kept saying you're not important enough for people to act thankful you're still alive, not important enough to get over, not important enough to be loved, not important enough to start your own family. We could go on and on. But now I think we can identify the problem. I think I can finally understand your motivations. You didn't even realize it before you started writing this letter. After years of being rejected, overlooked, and underappreciated, somewhere along the line, you told yourself, if nobody notices me, then eventually the whole world will. You sold yourself this narrative that popularity means validation, and that love is something you should audition for. You've turned yourself into the Wile E. Coyote, always chasing the Roadrunner in this case. Now, in this case, Roadrunner represents a YouTube play button, a televised wrestling promotion contract, or yes, even a family of your own. But during the chase, you've been ignoring the beautiful canyon that's surrounding you. You've been chasing the Roadrunner so long, you've been overlooking the fact that the chase has been hurting you. And I've been hurting. No. It's been hurting you, but you were still distracted from the scenery around you. This canyon you've been running through has been filled with so many great people and experiences that you've taken for granted. Because to me, that chase of my Roadrunner mattered too much. All this talk of you not feeling important, did you know that by allowing yourself to get distracted by the chase, you were telling your past accomplishments and all those supporters that they didn't matter? You may not know this, but you were saying none of them were important enough because you didn't get what you wanted. To those people, I say sorry, and I'll also say thank you. But now I have to ask, is my chase worth it? Some would say no, but stopping my chase doesn't mean stop running. As we grow older, our emotions grow wiser, and we start asking ourselves why we feel the way we do. Instead of asking myself, why am I chasing this? I ask myself, why am I running? No sense running from the past because it's already gone. You can't run back to yesterday. No sense running towards the future. That comes regardless. It's running towards you, actually, whether you're ready or not. So ask yourself, why are you running today? Running means movement, and movement means effort. And I praise the Lord now because He's given me the ability to run at all. And I can't waste that opportunity. Every step forward guarantees something great in this canyon of life, but you'll never know if you stop running. Now, this doesn't mean you'll never get what you're chasing after, but eventually you'll need to get to a point where you ask yourself why you love that roadrunner to begin with. The longer you chase, you'll realize why you started falling in love with the run to begin with. Now, in your case, James, I know you still love wrestling. Middle school James would be proud of you. So would the 2012 Backyard Wrestling SelfStandard. On YouTube, at its core, you can turn your imagination and your stories into something visual. Middle school James writing his fan fiction books will be proud of you too. You were only writing books for about 6 years, and now you're about to celebrate your 11th anniversary of SSP. Good job. But for you and anyone else that might be able to relate, don't stop running and love every step forward. I really needed to get that out there. Heck, if nobody else relates to that, then at minimum, I'm going to use that as a future pep talk if I ever start feeling that way. And when it comes to the whole coyote, comparison, I was telling my friend Carter about that not too long ago, and yeah, I'll admit, I'll put myself on the spot with that. I will. I'll say that yes, I have taken a few people for granted. I have taken a few friendships for granted. And heck, there are some times where I end up getting lost in my own head, lost in my own depression, and I would accidentally get into a mood where I conveniently forget what certain people have already done for me. And in a way, I was thinking that accidentally looks disrespectful to the fans and to the friends and everyone else that has supported me and prayed for me along the way. And I've realized that some of the stuff that I want isn't as important as everything that I need. And I'm getting to a point where I'm thankful that I'm getting what I need more than what I want. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to get everything that I want, but I've been getting experiences that I needed and I didn't even know it the whole time. Lessons that I've needed more than experiences I've wanted. The lessons I've needed have become more important than the experiences that I wanted. And heck, in my time, there has been experiences that I needed over stuff that I wanted too, and I ended up still becoming happy at the end of it. I still ended up becoming thankful with a smile on my face at the end of it, and I didn't even expect it to go down that way. Life's gonna take you off guard sometimes, and yeah, you may run into a brick wall sometimes. If you're gonna be the coyote in the situation, yeah, you're gonna end up running into a wall you could have swore that was a tunnel in the first place. Yeah, you might accidentally fall down a time or two, but in Coyote's defense, he still kept getting up. He still kept running forward. Even though he still kept chasing, he still kept running. He never gave up. He still kept he was still persistent. So if he can be persistent in the chase, we can be persistent in running and understanding why we love running. And I think I think if I haven't reached that moment yet, I think I'm very, very close to it. But that's one of the beauties of SSP. That's one of the beauties of Sup Everybody. They want to say, oh, I've never learned anything. They want to say, oh, I've never changed anything. But no. Like, I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how I've never changed. I don't see how I've never grown up. Just this series alone, Sup Everybody episode, what are we on now? 540 something, 550 something? I don't even know at this point. Not on the spot. But again, casually through the years, you can see me going through every emotion. You can see me going through every lesson, trying to process everything through myself and trying to force lessons onto myself. Trying to force moments onto myself. And in all honesty, like, I know I've lived an abnormal life. I've been trying to force myself into learning 15 or 16 years worth of wisdom in the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, I've tried to squeeze in at least 15 to 16 years worth of wisdom that ended up coming up way too late for me. But the important thing is I can't stop running today. If I stop running today, that's when I truly fail. And that's when I truly give up on myself. And for those of you that inspire me to keep running, thank you. My self-standard soldiers, that's who inspires me to keep running. Heck, my next smile, that's what keeps me running. My next laugh, that's what keeps me running. The good Lord keeps me running. Jesus keeps me running. And you viewers keep me running too. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Time for me to go ahead and wrap this vlog on up. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, make sure all of you remember to be outrageously optimistic year-round. Booyah. I'm out.